Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. Today in Parliament there was a heated debate with an unexpected ending. The motion filed by the Civic Platform Party to remove the Minister of Internal Affairs and Coordinator of the Special Services, KAMYSZ, was rejected.
For the last 5 years, Minister Mariusz Kamiński has consistently thrown out experienced agents. He has consistently destroyed Polish counterintelligence. He consistently implements a plan that only our enemies abroad can enjoy. The left will do everything it takes to make you responsible for any incident you dipped your fingers in. We will hold you to account for every penny, every wrongful decision and every investigation. These are the handcuffs you wanted to use against Mr. and Mrs. Kwaśniewski. They will sooner or later be put on people who have broken the law in one case or another. Today there is no supervision over the special services of the state, which, as a result, will lead to defenselessness. Poland will be weakened and, as a result, in the absence of a national community, may always lead to the collapse of the state, the breakdown of the nation and disaster. Only this time, the defeat will be felt by all citizens. Those handcuffs which were presented by Mr. GAWKOWSKI, I really hoped to see those communists, post-communists, walk out in handcuffs. Many people counted on it. Where is all of that? You're not achieving anything, and that is the problem. When I took over the supervision of the Polish Special Services in 2015, there were still 500 former communist security service officers in their ranks. Today, there is not a single one. In this, not merely symbolic way, we finally broke the bond between the Polish Special Services and the Communist Security Service. Today, the basic task of the Polish Special Services is to defend the independence of our country and the safety of its citizens. At this moment, I would like to thank all officers for what you do for Poland and for the Poles. Thank you very much.
450 members voted, 216 in favor, 233 against, and 1 abstained. Due to the failure to obtain the required majority of votes, the Sejm rejected the motion to express a vote of no confidence in Minister Mariusz Kamiński.
Poland has given its official response to the Court of Justice of the European Union in Luxembourg regarding the recent amendments to the Supreme Court bill. In the document, the Polish government asks that the motion of the European Commission to enact temporary measures against Poland be rejected. The European Commission filed the motion in October last year. Poland also asked that the ECJ hear judges of the disciplinary chamber of the Polish Supreme Court as witnesses.
The Polish government keeps insisting that the European Commission has no right to interfere in the internal matters regarding changes in the judicial system of any EU member state. We will be consequently stressing that this motion is without basis and that the disciplinary chamber showed its independence when a few days ago it overruled the dismissal of attorney Roman Giertych. As reported by Radio IMF, judges of the European Court of Justice are surprised by the motion to question witnesses, and the decision whether to put them on the stand will probably be made by the president of the ECJ himself, Cohen Leonard. The Law and Justice Party took control of the courts, the prosecutor, the National Council of the Judiciary and the Constitutional Tribunal, plus they created the disciplinary chamber of the Supreme Court. There are only a few courts left, which are independent, but it's not much. If the Court of Justice of the European Union agrees to the motion of the European Commission, the disciplinary chamber of the Polish Supreme Court will be suspended. If the Polish government refuses to abide, it may be penalized financially. I only hope that the government of the Law and Justice Party abides by the ruling of the Court of Justice of the European Union. I can't imagine a situation where the personal ambitions of the ruling party are more important than the loss of millions of euros every day. According to unofficial sources, the trial will commence by the end of this month, and the final verdict will be given in March.
78 years ago today, during the Second World War, the Union of Armed Struggle was transformed into the Home Army, thus creating the largest underground army in German-occupied Europe. Today, the memory of the Home Army's achievements is a core element of Polish patriotism.
Przysięgam być wierny ojczyźnie mej.
I swear to be faithful to my homeland, the Republic of Poland. This was the beginning of the oath of the soldiers of the Home Army. Those, as the colonel said, who have been part of the Polish armed forces fighting on all fronts in World War II for freedom and independence from February 14th. I swear to be faithful to my homeland, the Republic of Poland. For this loyalty, the loyalty to the homeland, the soldiers of the Home Army had to pay the highest price.
Na wszystkich frontach II wojny światowej o wolność i niepodległość.
W tej chwili, jak powiedziałem,
At the moment there are only a handful of us left. Our ranks are decreasing. We are slowly moving into history, but the memory remains and must remain for the next generations. I am glad that this memory is being cultivated at the moment, that we do not forget about it. Let us remember that today is not the anniversary of the creation of the Home Army, but the anniversary of its transformation from a union into an army, a part of the Polish army, subordinated to the legal government of Poland. Honor the memory of the fallen and honor the memory of its members.
nie powstania Armii Krajowej, a jej tylko przekształcenia jej nazwy.
Thousands of hospital workers donned white coats as they marched through Paris today. The protesters are demanding greater investment in the health service to fund higher salaries and the hiring of new nurses.
Health workers who have been holding strikes for over 10 months to demand more government funding said hospitals have been thinly staffed for years and patient care has deteriorated. Manuela DURINGON, a nurse who works night shifts at a hospital just outside Paris, called out French Health Minister Agnès Buzyn. Mrs. Buzyn has to stop saying that all is well and that she's given money and doesn't know what we are doing in the streets. I'd like to see Mrs. Buzyn one day in a bed being told there is no personnel, we cannot relieve your pain and change you. Ms. DURINGON argues that French hospitals are in a state of complete chaos. The problems are that there is a big lack of personnel, closing of hospital beds which results in the transfer of patients to other hospitals, hours of waiting in emergency rooms and bad care of patients. France will absorb 10 billion euros of public hospital debt, the government announced in November 2019, part of emergency measures aimed at ending the months of street protests by fed-up doctors and nurses, but it remains to be seen whether it will be enough to convince the protesters to stop the strikes.
That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.